advertised in the Village Voice, the Amsterdam News, and the New York Post.
And you were telling people through your advertising that you can cure
AIDS, sickle cell, lupus, herpes, blindness, diabetes, paralysis, and others.
Okay, so they come knocking on the door and
So knocked on my door and took me to jail. But the funny thing about it, I was happy. I was very, very, extremely happy. When everybody in my office was crying, I was happy because my mama told me they were coming. And I knew that I had sufficient evidence to prove my position. Not only scientifically, empirically, historically, and whatever way they would desire. So, while I was in jail, I'm saying, I wonder what defense they would have against me.
Yeah.
I would like to know. But I didn't blame the Attorney General, Mr. Robert Abrams, because why should he accept from me the statement that I cure AIDS and sickle cell and blindness? When no one else has ever made those claims. The man had a right to arrest me, but he was making a mistake. So I'm sitting in jail, and I'm happy. When I got out of jail and when I went in front of the judge, I asked 3 questions.
And they were?
They were, Your Honor.
You defended yourself?
Of course I did.
Okay.
Your Honor, is it a fact that the Holy Bible teaches that the herbs are for the healing of the nations? She said, yes. Is it a fact that science shows that the human body is carbon-based, and to complement a carbon-based body, you must have a carbon-based substance to complement it, because the body only accepts a substance through the process of chemical affinity. Chemical affinity is important. It's an electrical transport. Chemical affinity.
Okay.
The body could only accept what it is made of, not something new or alien to it. Last question. Your Honor, is it a fact that the father of medicine, Mr. Hippocrates, the man that established the principle of medical science today, cured every disease known to man? Did he use herbs or chemicals? She said, herbs. I said, thank you very much. I rest my case.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I understood that the state were unprepared to defend itself. They were unprepared because in the past there was 2,781 cases that came before the Supreme Court and lost. I won. Not only did I prove scientifically, but I had the diagnostic sheets, and I do have them today. And those diagnostic sheets didn't come from me. They came from their school, their American accredited, medical accredited school.
Did I read it correctly where there was some requirement for you to actually bring patients, a patient into court from each of those maladies, and that you brought multiple patients in court who, one, testified themselves, and that you had medical records, one showing that they were victims of the disease, and then showing that it had been cured by one doctor, and then a second doctor verifying what the first doctor had said?
Yes. We have to remember this, that whenever you make a statement that goes against the grain, you better be prepared. You better be prepared. The judge said that I had to bring one of every patient that I had cured, and there was one that said others. The other was a man that came from Italy. He was paralyzed. But I was supposed to take 9. I took 77.
You took 77 patients in court with you?
That's correct. But I knew that my brain was not the same as your brain or any other brain, right? We're unique.
Yeah.
So when I make a statement, they're going to take my statement and pit it against philosophy. It doesn't fit. I represent an entity that isn't philosophical.
And that entity is?
Well, it is an African one. I'm an African. And we have to remember that. You see, we think that we could take a philosophy out of Europe or China and inculcate that into the African brain. It does not resonate. It cannot resonate. You cannot be yourself when you've been adulterated. Being that I am an African, I'm going to look at things the African way. And the African way seems to reduce things to the least common denominator. And guess what I found? That there's only one disease. Not two, not three, one. When I opened my big black mouth and told the judge that, oh my God. What did you say? I said, Your Honor, there's only one disease.
And what is
Could
that?
you substantiate that?
Okay.
Of course, I'm not going to just deploy a bunch of empty words. I represent a country. I represent a people. I represent a race. And I represent myself. I'm not going to undermine myself. There's only one disease. The judge said, what is it? I said, you already know. She said, try me. It was a woman, Ann Feldman. I said, Your Honor, when someone has sinusitis, what is obstructing the nasal passage? She said, mucus. And when another has bronchitis, what is obstructing the bronchial tubes? She said, mucus. And when another has pneumonia, what's covering the cells of the lungs? She said, mucus. Dr. Victor Herbert, who is defending the state of New York, jumped up and said, what about AIDS? You and your one disease theory? I said, Your Honor, this doctor is saying that I believe in a theory. I am the last individual on earth that could believe in a theory. I do not lend myself to theories or philosophy. Either I know or I don't know.
Okay.
He's talking about theories.
Yeah. You talking about the real deal.
I'm talking about reality, not theories, not philosophy.
So please share with this.
So she said, and what about AIDS?
Yeah.
I said, well, he asked about what about AIDS? He want to know where the mucus. I said, Your Honor, have you been to an AIDS ward? She said, yes. I said, what is it that the AIDS spits up every 5 minutes? She said, mucus. Where is the mucus? It's in the skin, it's in the blood, and the lymphatic system that makes up the immunological system. That is where you find the mucus. Mr. Victor Herbert, how could you agree with, how can you disagree with truth? You see, what happened, I didn't go to school. I have never been to school. I have never attended any school, kindergarten, grade school, high school, or anything. But I had parents that kept me anchored to the African way, not to the Chinese way, not to the European way, not to the Japanese way. I am an African.
Were your patients all of color?
No, no. I have patients that are white. I have more white patients than I have black. I, Sebi, I am not the most important person in the arrangement of the black world. I am the least of the important person in the black world. All I am is a servant, you know. So what does he want? How should we even position this individual that claimed that he could do all of this? I am a son of Africa. You cannot deny that of me. And am I not responsible for contributing to the welfare of Africa? Not only of the black men in Africa, of the Caribbean and American, all over the world, and every race that exists. So, but self-preservation is the first law. So naturally, it is incumbent upon us to touch Mama, to heal Mama. Right now, she's sick. So, I went to South Africa under the leadership of the most humble and distinguished Sir, Mr. Nelson Mandela. Well, they looked at me like I was lesser than. After showing them documents, diagnostic sheets, HIV positive, HIV negative, I showed that to the Board of Health of South Africa. And AIDS is running rampant in South Africa. And you mean to tell me that the government of Mr. Nelson Mandela, that is so revered and all over the world as being a great liberator of peace, find it necessary to reject what Dr. Sebi had to say? Well, you could investigate it yourself. They kicked me out. Get out! Thanks. Me, I do stupid things. Oh yeah, many, many, many times. I do stupid things. I picked up my $35,000 and went to Zimbabwe under the leadership of Mr. Robert Mugabe. Hey fellas, look what I could do. And while I was there were children that were never supposed to walk was walking and playing ball. Women that had diabetes no longer had diabetes. Get out! Wow. Hey, what's going on with me? Something wrong with me. It's not Mugabe, it's not Zimbabwe. Something is wrong with me. They keep kicking me out. Then they kicked me out of Dominica. They said, nigga, get out. Wow. So, you know, after they done that to you quite a few times, you begin to take inventory of yourself. Oh my God, what's wrong with Sebi? So today, Africa still is my responsibility because I know that the compounds that Europe is selling to Africa is not helping in any form, shape, or fashion because they are inorganic chemicals. And if there is a biochemist or a nutritionist that could prove to us that all these vaccines has a place in the African biology, please come forth and show us. Because 500 years prior into millions of years, we were not vaccinated then. Why now? Why now? Yes, I take the responsibility for reconstructing the genetical predisposition of Africa, or the genetical condition, not the predisposition, but the condition. Why? It has been what? Interfered with. Why not? I am the son of Africa. I have tried many times and they kicked me out. But President Kikwete, yes, I love you, my brother. You showed love for Dr. Sebi. from Tanzania. And I will be coming to Tanzania soon, my president, because I would like to do something in East Africa. Africa is where you find some of the best herbs in the world. We could set up laboratories in Africa, processing plant, and supply ourselves with that, and we would be healthier people. Because in the short time that I was in Zimbabwe and in where else I were? In Guinea. Oh yes, I forgot. Guinea. Oh my God. Last but not least, I can't forget you, Guinea. You treated me under the leadership of Lansana Conti like I love to be treated as a brother. It was Lansana Sako that took us there because he was sick. And you treated me royally. And I always remember you, Guinea. I remember going to Fulamori. And I promised that I would return to Fulamori and develop a healing center, because the thermal waters in Fulamori has minerals that has never been recorded. And I was so healthy when I was there. So yes, Guinea, Conakry, I want to be part of you also, because I am already your brother. So yes, Guinea and Tanzania, West Africa and East Africa showed love for Dr. Sebi. And it is my greatest desire, it will be the joy of my life to be given the privilege to exercise the African biomineral balance on the continent of Africa. Why? Because here we have shown, by using the African biomineral balance, to reverse AIDS and all the other diseases. Why? It is organic. It is electrical. It resonates with us. It is ours. It is from our culture. Africa, yes, I'm indebted to you. Yes, you are my mother, and I love you. Thank you very much.